Well, we're at the home of cricket. It's the first match in the World Cup that's happening at the home of cricket at Lords, and it's Pakistan versus South Africa. It's a Pakistan practice that we're at the moment. It's a light one. It's just a top-up. They've worked very hard apparently over the last few days. The batsmen are just coming for an extra few hits. Some of the bowlers are out in the middle bowling, and not going to be too much bowling. So it's not going to be too intense. They want to keep their energies. They want to make sure when they come to play South Africa, they are nasty fresh. Umpire Don Messina also just getting his eye in. They often come to the practices just to sit and watch and work out and watch the front line. Just give themselves a bit of a practice session, which you wouldn't think often happens. But it isn't that intense. The guys are feeling pretty relaxed and trying to get used to the conditions. The big surprise, or the big thing you have to actually work on here when you're at Lords, is the slope. And obviously there's a side slope, so when you bat and bowl, you have to work that into your game plans about making sure you don't fall over or how you're going to bowl up the hill. These nets that they're actually working at are at a different angle, so they won't get much time to be able to work that out here. That's why a lot of the bowlers have gone out to the middle and had a middle session so they can get to understand exactly what's on with regards to the slope. So the Pakistan practice is finished. The South Africans, they had a travel day, then they had a day off. They're back into training before the match, start with the traditional soccer game, and now they've gone into their fielding. And as you can see, what happens is the boundary riders will be out there taking the long catches. You've got your slip cordon who gets into a slip cordon catching unit, and then your infielders, the guys who are going to be in the ring, the ones who have to stop the singles, try and inflict the runouts. Those guys have a specialised session. So it's not just a general fielding session. Everyone knows how to sharpen up the skills that they will require for tomorrow's match. So the South Africans have moved on now from their fielding practice. They're into the nets. The captain, Faf du Plessis, the two openers, Hashim Amla and Quinton de Kock, are in the nets, striking the ball nasty. The throws are being given to them. The bowlers are out in the middle. Not too many guys are bowling in the nets. Got JP Durmany. Now let's ask him a little bit about batting at Lords. JP, batting on the slope at Lords, give us your experiences or thoughts.
I do think it depends on your technique. So guys that sort of stand straight up, I think are okay, but the guys that sort of tap and sort of lean on their bat slightly, I think that's when it becomes a little bit tricky. So as you've mentioned also, you found that you need to sort of balance on your heels depending on what side you're batting on. So the sort of technique comes into play, but it's important to understand where you feature.
And ideally would have preferred to practice on those nets where there is a bit of a slope rather than these ones coming up the hill.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a little bit different, but I think guys, especially guys that have played here before, will have an understanding, and hopefully we can share that knowledge around.
Good news, it's the same for both teams.
Exactly.
That's all. So the South Africans will finish their practice and they'll get themselves ready for tomorrow.